Welcome to the active system. On this video we are going to discuss the nutrition management program, or it's also called the weekly weight program, that can be managed very easily and effectively on the active system. Currently on your screen is the sign-in screen that you see when you first click the icon, active system icon on the desktop. I'm going to put in the standard code, which is AA. That is what everyone uses, and everyone has a special password that they put in once a month, but for now we'll just put in AA and hit enter, and the opening screen for the active system, which is also called the roster screen, comes up, and you have your list of residents here. These are the demonstration residents. And what we're going to cover is how you manage a nutrition management program or a weekly weight program. Now currently we have Woodrow Wilson highlighted on the screen, and I am going to hit enter and go into Woodrow Wilson's admission screen. Okay, now the item of interest is this NMP, where the mouse cursor is. That's the NMP box, and this is how we determine who is on weekly weights and who is not. Now you'll see an L in here. I'm going to erase this E. That's for indication that a person has gained a lot of weight recently, and it's an indication of possible edema. But L is for weight loss. Anytime you put the weights in the active system, if a person has a significant weight loss, which is 5 pounds in 30 or 5% in 30 days or 10% in 180 days, an L will be placed in this box. You can manually put an L in there by coming to their admission screen and just typing in L if you wanted to, just like that. But the L indicates weight loss. G is for weight gain. A G will be placed in this box if a person has a significant weight gain of 5% in 30 days or 10% in 180 days. And an A will be placed in here if a person is newly admitted to the facility. So those are three primary reasons why you would want a person on a weekly weight program, but you can determine whoever you want on here by putting in various characters in this box. Usually it's L, G, and A for weight loss, weight gain, and new admission. You can also add 1, 2, 3, or 4 for different stages of skin breakdown, and T for tube feeding. All those different codes can be in here. You can have up to 7 different characters in this box. But the idea is place the characters that you want for weekly weight loss in these boxes, and that's how you designate a person is on your weekly weight program. Okay, now I'm going to click exit, and we're going to go to Woodrow Wilson. We still have Woodrow Wilson highlighted, and we're going to hit F2, your function key at the top row of your keyboard, to go to his weights. Okay, now you'll notice that there are previous weights, and then the last weight is 01/14/2014. So we can put in a weight here, so 01 2114, and say Woodrow Wilson weighed 180 pounds. If you put that in, hit enter, you'll notice that the star comes up next to the weight, indicate that's a significant weight loss. And then you press escape and you're back on the roster, and you can go down to the next person, and you can hit F2 and put in a weight for there. And again, we put in 01/21/14, and we put in a weight of 150, and you'll see a plus sign shows up there for weight gain. Now notice we had to put in the weight, the date for the weight every single time. We have a way to address that. It's called setting the date, and you hold down your control key on your keyboard and you tap the S key for set date, and this box comes up. This is how you can set the various dates within the active system. and we are going to set the date. Click on the date for weights, and we'll put 01/21/14. You don't put 2014, you put 14. Let's say 6-digit date. Okay, now you click exit, and you're back on the roster, and let's go up to this person and hit F2, and you'll notice that the date is already in there, and you can type in their current weight and hit enter, and notice the calculations are done right away as soon as you hit enter. And then I'm going to press Alt X or escape to get back to the roster. Okay, in this method you can go down the list and very quickly put in all your weights for a resident, for a list of residents, very quickly and easily by setting the date. Okay, now say you go to your weekly weight meeting. You can be putting in the weights at the meeting, or you put them in ahead of time. Either way you want to do it is both ways. You have plenty of time to put in the weights at the meeting, or put them in, or you can put them in before the meeting. But during the meeting, you go down the list and you start up at the top, the first person on your weekly weights, and you can press F2 and put in the weight, and then you press F7 to go to your list of comments. Okay, now here is where you quickly and easily input the different codes for different comments. Now if I press C and hit enter, what comes up is the weight change for the current weight. So that person had a 4.6 pound weight loss for Lynn Cheney. And now what are we going to say? We're going to say we're going to encourage meals and supplements. That's E. And then we're going to M. It's an M. And that's for monitor in the weekly weight program. Other codes.
Marie Johnson, please come to station 1. Marie Johnson, please come to station 1.
Other codes are T for tube feeding, tolerating tube feeding well. I just wanted to emphasize how you get to the comment section for the resident. On the screen now is the comment section. If you click exit, you go back to the roster, and you'll see you have a resident highlighted. You have a choice. You can hit your F7 function key at the top row of your keyboard. I'm hitting that now. That gets you to the comment section. I'm going to click exit and go back. You also have under the RD tab the comment button that you can click, and that brings you to the comments. Those are two different ways that you can get to the comment section for the resident. Then you can put in the character M. Hit M and hit enter, and that's monitor weekly in NMP to continue. Okay, if you click this yellow button here, NMP comments, click that, it will give you a list of all the various codes that you can put in to make standard comments. Also notice up here you've got list 3. If you click the down arrow, go to list 2. You have the same comments, but you can vary how it's stated each time. Now there are 9 lists, and you can go through all these lists and vary the comments for each code slightly. Therefore, the different codes that you put in, the active system will randomly select from one of the 9 lists the comment, so that your comments are not the exact same comments all the time. They're saying the same thing, the different codes, but each one is phrased slightly differently. Also notice that below the comments is a whole lot of blank space. That is where you can add your own standard comments, and in the first skinny column is where you put in the letter or the code that you want to use to draw that comment up. But please realize that you need to go to all 9 lists and put in a version of that comment so that the active system will have a random choice of one of 9 lists to input, to draw the comments and put them on your comment file for that resident. So I'm going to click exit and go back to the active system, and if we put in one there, you see that it says recommend house supplemented HS, and those are all the various comments. So the idea here is to put in the 1-character or 2-character comments, hit enter, and pull from this NMP comment list, and very quickly and effectively input your comments for the meeting. Now you can type in additional information, say from other people that are in the meeting may have other comments. You can add those comments, like resident had some difficulty earlier in the week. She was vomiting. Okay, you put that in, or some other comments are due to be discharged Friday. Okay, whatever you want to type in, you can type in, and then you press escape. All right, you see it flash up to the comment file. If we go back to it, you'll see all the comments are put in up at the top that you type in the white box here. Up at this top in the beige, that is the actual comment file for the resident. Now there are 1,800 lines of comments that are stored for every single resident in the active system. After using this active system for well over 10 years, I have yet to fill up a comment file for any resident. So I typically say that it'll hold 10 years worth of comments, but probably more, depending on how much you document on a resident. But all of the comments for the quarterly assessments, initial assessments, quarterly assessments, annual assessments, and all discussions in the wait meetings for the residents are put in this comment file, and they have yet to fill one of them up anywhere, any facility using the active system. So it holds a tremendous amount of data. It's very historical. You can read back 10 years on all the different discussions and all the different assessments that were done for a resident by looking at this comment file. Now I'm going to press escape or exit, click exit, and go back to the roster. Then you go to Woodrow Wilson, you would hit F7 there, and once again put C for the weight change. I'm going to continue to monitor meals and supplements. Recommend REC : fortified foods. Okay, any recommendations you put in for the active system, you put REC and a colon. That's a code. That's what the active system is looking for to see that this is in fact a recommendation line. Okay, before we go back to the roster, I'd like to mention about this pink box off to the right. This is an excerpt from the Cardex for the resident, so you quickly and easily see first of all what's on their tray card. This is breakfast, this is lunch, and this is supper. And then over here are your supplements and medications and the weights. We also have labs their skin breakdown list, and meal consumption. All that would show up here off to the right in pink, and this is updated as you put the information in the Cardex. This would be updated, and this is a reference for you while you're putting in comments for the resident. Now I'll press escape or exit, click exit, and we're back on the roster. And now I am going to click resident. I want to find the fax program. Here it is. It's the button here. The buttons didn't show up initially. It's a little bit slow because of the video recording. But anyway, you have a fax button here. I'm going to click that. And we're going to go to the fax program for the active system. And you'll notice that we have a fax that you can fax to the physician, but it has the recommendation here, fortified foods, the REC colon that we put in the comments. Now these faxes that you send to the physician are filled with all kinds of information. All the demographic information is here, what's on their breakfast and lunch and supper tray cards, what nourishments they're on. It has a list of the weights for the resident, labs for the resident, calorie requirements, calculations are listed there also. Then in this box here you have the actual recommendation, and then down below it is the other comments for that particular day. And all this is faxed to the physician for the physician's signature down here on the bottom. Now also realize that this is a wonderful means for getting documentation into the chart without actually having to go to the chart on every single time you want to document something. So if you're recommending fortified foods for a resident, you don't have to go to the chart immediately and recommend fortified foods in the dietary notes. You can generate this fax. It is faxed to the physician, and then the procedure should be to place this in the dietary section of the chart or in the order section of the chart, anywhere in the chart, and this actually documents your recommendation in the chart without you actually having to run to the chart and write it in yourself. So the active system can facilitate documentation. Sometimes you can rely on just the fax recommendation to get that documentation in the chart. Of course, you wouldn't rely on that exclusively. However, it is a means to get the documentation in the chart until such time as you're printing out the assessment to put that in the chart, and that will also show a record of the fax recommendation. But in essence, you're double documenting without ever having to go to the chart initially to get that recommendation. It will get into the chart, and you'll have that recommendation documented without actually having to go and write it in yourself. Now this applies a great deal when you're having weekly weight meetings and you're making all kinds of recommendations. Those are faxed to the physician, and the recommendations get into the chart immediately without you having to rush out of the meeting and go to all the different charts and document all your recommendations. They will get into the chart through the fax recommendation that you generate after the meeting. Okay, so we have gone through 2 residents. You can go to the next one. You can put in your documentation for that using your different codes and typing in any additional comments, and you go through your whole meeting doing that very quickly and easily, documenting your recommendations. You have a lot of text that's put in there through your codes that you didn't have to fully type in yourself, but you're seeing exactly what you're putting into the white box before you press escape for each resident, and then you go to the next resident and you go through the whole meeting documenting as you go, putting in weights as you go, and building the minutes for the meeting, which we'll discuss now, how you generate the minutes after the meeting. So you've gone through the meeting, you put in your weights, you put in your comments, and then at the end you go up here to the top and you have an NMP button. And notice this is under the RD tab. You have the diet tab, which the dietary managers will use primarily, but the RD, it has a lot more clinical functions on it. So you click the RD tab, and then you click NMP, and you come to the Nutrition Management Program. This is a report generator that you generate after the meeting, and you simply go to this program, and it's already preset. You have your nursing units 1 to 2. That's a typical 120 bed home. If you have 180 beds, I might read 1 and 3 in the second box. We generally put in this box 1 and 999. That's simply just a huge number to make sure you include everybody on the unit. Then you have over here the date, and that's typically today's date. Will be in there already when it's loaded, but you can change that to a previous date. If you have to reprint the report, you would go to a previous date here. And then you have your disciplines. We have NMP, RD, all the different comments that you put in under a particular discipline. And then you have print with faxes. So in other words, it's going to print the report, and any faxes you generated with the REC colon will come out as fax recommendations in addition to the report. And then you click print. So I'm going to go ahead and click that now, and we'll see the results of fax recommendations now being printed. Got that from Ms. Cheney. That's another fax recommendation. This was printed to a PDF file. Normally you would be attached to a printer, and these would just be printing out on the printer. That's a recommendation from Mr. Wilson. And then we have the NMP minutes program. And these are all the comments. All the different residents are listed. You have your comments, then you have other information, what's on their meal card, what's nourishments, and their weight history and their labs history will all show up here. And that's the minutes for the nutrition management program. And this is the end of the report. Normally this report will be 3 to 4 pages long with all the residents listed for the weight management program. And then you would this would print out in the printer also instead of the PDF file that it's showing now. Okay, so that's how you print out your weight management or nutrition management program minutes. At the end of the meeting, you'll have the minutes of the program plus all the fax recommendations. 1 sheet per recommendation would also be printed also. I'm going to click exit, and I'm going to cover one more thing. Whenever we hit Control S, we put in the dates here, but here's the discipline up here that you put in. And typically we put an NMP here. And if you click exit, then whenever you put in your comments, F7, this box here in the blue is NMP rather than RD. Other things that are put in this box are CDM for CDM comments, then RD, LD, DM, anything you want to put in there can be put in there, and that's what shows up right here in up in the beige area in the second column. That's the discipline column. So you can have a comment listing that includes RD comments, it can include CDM comments, NMP comments, comments from various disciplines. All this can be intermixed chronologically down the list. So you can have a very interdisciplinary comment file for the resident. But we also have, if you go up here to CDM, we have another whole 1,800 lines for CDM comments. You have your choice. You can have a separate comment file for CDM, and a separate comment file for the RD, or you can mix them together. Either way you want to do it, whatever you feel is most useful to you. You can have separate comment files for the CDM, or you can mix the CDM comments in with the RD comments, so a person can review them and see the comments for the RD, comments from the CDM, comments from the nutrition management program, all mixed together chronologically. You can very effectively document a history of interaction, interdisciplinary approach to the nutritional care of your resident. Okay, we'll click exit. We're back on the roster. And that is basically, in a nutshell, how you run a nutrition management program with the active system. However, there are some subtle, powerful points that need to be also discussed that the active system allows you to do simply because you are documenting it all in the same spot through the active system. Now, once you have all this and you've gone through week after week of doing a weight management program, you will have a whole series of NMP comments for a resident in their comment file to make sure that all those comments are in the chart, documented in the chart, once a month or once a quarter or once however often you want. You can print out summaries, individual summaries for each resident in your weight meeting, and print those out and put those in the chart to make sure that every single comment, every single discussion for a resident gets into the individual resident's charts, regardless of whether you recommended something that particular week or not. You can do a nutrition management summary for the resident very simply by going up here and clicking assessment. Okay, this is under the RD tab. You click assessment, highlighting any resident you want. It doesn't matter, just have one highlighted, then click assessment. We have some checks. It's saying that the gender of the resident was changed. This is a safety check that the active system does. In this particular case, it's a file that was from a actual file, and we cross out the names and we just put this with Mr. Dashiell's chart. So that's why that came up. But it will come up if you're documenting on a resident, and the resident's a male resident, and you say the resident's daughter said that she wants this or that. That will be in the comment file, and that will trigger that message to come up saying that that's the wrong gender for this particular resident in the comment file. It's just a safety feature that has you double checking to make sure that what you're documenting on is that particular resident. And if you have a male resident and you're saying she and her in the comments, it double checks it and makes sure that you intended to say that for this particular resident. You weren't in fact documenting on another resident when you thought you were with this resident. So it's a safety feature, and that's why those comments came up. But this is the assessment file that comes up, and you'll see if we scroll down all the different comments, and then the last one that we had for nutrition management is here at the bottom. And this is a summary of all the different comments for the resident. And there's also the nutritional assessment for the resident, but this particular case, we're coming to this program for a nutrition management summary. And see this yellow button up here where the mouse cursor is? I click that, and what that does is set this program up for printing all of the nutrition management summaries for everybody on weekly weights only. You'll notice that it has units 1 to 2 now, and it has residents 1 to 99, and discipline is NMP. So anybody that has an NMP comment in their comment file will print out, and then you go to this drop down box here, and it says on/after DT, on or after date, and you click that and you go back as far as you want to, say, October 1. Okay, what that is setting up is it will print a nutrition assessment for every resident that has an NMP comment in their comment file.
Please call station 2. Laura, please call station 2.
10/1/2013. And then you click print, and it will print a one-page summary for every resident that has an NMP comment on 10/1/13 or after. And then you take those comments of those nutritional assessment files and you put them in individual charts to make sure that all of the nutrition comment files or nutrition management meeting notes are in the charts for each individual residence. So the active system allows you to document the weight management meetings very quickly, but it also allows you to print out individual summaries for each of the residents and put them in the chart, and you therefore have a stream of information from your weight meetings into the individual charts to make sure that all the comments and all the care and all the interventions that you have done throughout any given period of time is documented fully in each individual resident that you're covering in the weight management meetings. It's a very powerful tool. It's a way that the active system helps you to build a safety net under all of your residents to document all the care and all the steps you have taken and all the recommendations and all the interventions and follow-ups that you have done for each individual resident at risk, and get that documentation in the individual charts, not just in a notebook that has a list of all the meetings that you had, but each individual resident gets a summary, detailed summary of all the discussion, all the interventions, all the follow-up that you have done over a given period of time. Could be once a month, once a quarter, twice a year, however often you want to do it. Print them out and put them in the chart. And this is how the active system allows you to quickly and effectively document all of your nutritional care for all of your residents at risk through the nutrition management program in the active system. So I hope this video has helped you to realize the powerful and effective methods that the active system allows you in managing the nutritional care of your residents. And I look forward to discussing these options with you further. Please give me a call anytime that you would like to have further demonstration. My number is 904-382-7831, or up at the top you have the website activesystem.org. There's a link there where you can contact me through email or by calling my cell phone number, 904-382-7831. Thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing from you.